Alright guys, well I'm back today with probably one of the coolest AK-47s I've had out to the channel for a while. Is it the most practical? Probably not, but it is the absolute most interesting AK-47 I've ever reviewed. This is the Palmetto State Armory Soviet Arms AK-47 Spiker rifle and the red wood configuration, and they also have a more yellowish wood configuration. This is pretty cool because it copies the Norinco style of the traditional Spiker AK-47 with incredible specs and features for actual performance down at the range, where you can just run a ton of rounds through it and get some stuff with the bayonet, as you see in the intro. Everything about the fit and finish is absolutely spectacular, and we're going to be going over all the specs and features and performance down at the range. Before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to American Pawn and Gun, located in Monroe, North Carolina, for donating the 7.62x39 ammo out to the channel for us to try. They've got a lot of it. If you're ever in Monroe, North Carolina, swing by, check them out. Tell them 704 Tactical sent you over, and they'll hook you up. Now into the full overview of this PSA Spiker. So as soon as I saw this released, I knew I had to get one out to the channel. I put in the request for PSA, waited patiently, and they sent this out for TNE, and I couldn't be happier. When we are looking at the rifle, the obvious notable feature is the actual swivel bayonet on the front of this. Again, very much like the original Norinco. You simply pull back on the bayonet itself, it swings out and locks into position, and then you have a fixed bayonet that you can then retract back, as you've seen in the intro. This is a nice functional feature, and it works really well, as you can see demonstrated in a wide variety of applications in the intro. Now, this does have the more traditional squared off thread protector rather than a slant break, and then the traditional iron sights, gas tube, and wooden furniture that you would see on the Norinco Spiker. The other thing I want to mention is the fit and finish of this. Then we'll talk about the exact specs and features of the internal components. So let's dig right in. The fit and finish is just spectacular. It's incredible the way this thing shines, and that's another thing I want to mention. A lot of Palmetto State Armory AK-47s have an almost gloss/matte finish, or a satin finish. This one is definitely a gloss finish, again lending more to the traditional Norinco style. The wood itself is also a very shiny wood, and the butt plate on this is very slick. You can tell, just especially in the dust cover, how shiny that is. It also has the markings right here, again, indicative of the traditional Norinco AK. Now, this doesn't have the extended safety lever, and you're going to start making sacrifices in the functionality in the attempt to make this the correct rifle. So you are going to sacrifice some of those, and rightly so. I wouldn't want some of the bells and whistles on some of the other PSA AK-47s on this traditional Norinco style Spiker AK. So just the traditional grip, trigger guard, and safety lever. This one also has a really slick bolt with that shiny finish, so let's kind of start talking about that after we finish up on the reciprocating side of the rifle itself. This one is fully made in the USA and does not have that side scope reel, again like the original Spikers, and you can see how everything just flows incredibly nice on this rifle. It's just a great build overall. Then when we were looking at the receiver itself, this is a 1.5 millimeter stamped receiver, and this is obviously chambered in 7.62x39. This one actually has a chrome-lined barrel, and it's actually one of the Cold Hammer Forge chrome-lined barrels that PSA offers in some of their rifles, so an incredibly premium barrel that's going to last you a lifetime. The thread pitch on this guy is the M14x1 left-hand thread, and the twist rate is 1 in 10. Now, we already mentioned that it is a Cold Hammer Forge barrel with a chrome lining, but the barrel steel itself is actually 4150. And then the finish that we discussed earlier, that shiny finish, they're actually calling it the Midnight Blue Cerakote. We have the Norinco style bayonet cut handguards up at the front, which makes everything work perfectly. You can see how the bayonet lines perfectly up with that, so it kind of holds everything into place and it locks up pretty darn rock solid. Now, we also have incredibly nice internals when it comes to the carrier and trunnion. So the bolt itself is a Toolcraft stainless steel hammer forged bolt. So that's what gives it the look, but you also get that hammer forged bolt quality, allowing it to last thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rounds. The carrier is also Toolcraft stainless steel hammer forged, and then you're going to have a hammer forged front trunnion. And in fact, it's actually the 4340 AQ hammer forged front trunnion. So you're not going to have any worries about the longevity of this rifle. Probably some of the most premium materials PSA is including in some of their AKs are also included in this rifle. You also have the ventilated gas tube on the front, and that just also lends to the look of this particular rifle, and it does have the traditional single stage hook trigger inside here. Overall, this is probably one of the coolest AK-47s I've had out to the channel. Again, you start shedding some practicality for the looks of the Norinco Spiker, and this is more for the collector who wants an actual shootable piece down at the range. This is also a great conversation piece to have mounted up against your wall. And it is absolutely fun down at the range to start spiking and blasting things with this rifle. I can't get enough of what PSA is doing lately. And if you want more information about PSA, some of their other clone builds, whether it be the AR world or the AK world, definitely check out the campsite page in the description below, as well as check out my Instagram page, Patreon page, and Twitter page for all the daily deals and updates, and for all the info you need to find the best opportunities. Again, you might want to bookmark that campsite page that's in the description below. I absolutely love this rifle, and I'm super glad PSA sent this out to the channel. It will not be the last time you see it. They've got so much stuff here lately. Also, if you want to take a look at their actual shop at the Greenville location, we swung by one and did a shop tour on our way to the IV-88 shoot. It was a blast to go through and actually put hands on stuff that I've only seen online, so you may want to check out those videos as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.